Welcome to Talent Takeover
Unfiltered.
When it comes to working hard and keeping it real, we know our shit. Self-care, happiness, inner peace, and time. I'm Brianna Rooney, and this is Taylor Bradley.
Hey, y'all.
And we have thrived in chaos and turned it into an art form. So Taylor, what are we doing here today?
We're here to give you a raw, under-the-hood view of all things recruiting and finally give credit where credit is due to a long underrated industry that's full of quote-unquote experts.
All right. Well, then let's take this show to the road. Hello. Welcome to another badass episode of Talent Takeover Unfiltered. So we have a guest today. You know, we love our guests. And this is, first of all, going to be about how to make millions in recruiting. Ding, ding, ding. So we are with Domenic Maiani. Hope I pronounced that right, as you just told me how to do it.
Spot on.
All right. Woo. Getting it right. So Taylor, Domenic, how are we doing today?
Great. How are you guys?
Good. Excited. We always have the best days, Domenic, after we record these podcasts. It like energizes us for the day. And I could tell by the F-bombs you were dropping and like Jess is covering the housekeeping. I'm like, this is going to be a vibe. This is definitely going to set my day up. Like the trajectory is going to go up.
Well, I feel the same way. You know, I met with Brianna before we spoke on LinkedIn, and I was like, "Are you Brianna Rooney from the Millionaire Recruiter?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's me," because we're in the Forbes group together. And I'm like, "You know that I sent all my new recruiters to you because I don't have time to train them." You know, and the old school way that I was trained was, "Here, sit next to me for a week, watch, and then go." Right? Well, nowadays with all the new tech, this, that. I mean, it's a little bit more detailed. So I just say, hey, go watch her videos or take her class. Here you go.
Love it. Thank you. But yeah, everyone shadows. By the way, like I love how we said that it's old school. People are still doing that shit. I know a company that is worth billions, mind you, and they have a 6-week shadowing program. 6 weeks.
Wow.
So
I mean, that's how you learn, right? That's how I learned.
yeah, that's crazy. Wild.
So, yeah, no, I feel like that's the best way is you sit there and watch it. For me, it's hard to train somebody, especially when we first, broke off from my partner a year and a half ago, because I'm doing business development, I'm recruiting, I'm going back and forth doing accounting. It's, how can somebody follow along with me? I'm going 10 different ways. It's tough,
Yeah.
So now we have people in place to help, help support that. But in the beginning, it was crazy.
Yeah. Wild, wild west. Love it.
Yeah,
Well,
great.
let's get into it because everyone wants to know how to make millions in recruiting. So let's go.
Absolutely.
So first of all, how many years experience do you have?
About level 13 now. So I started back in 2010. A company called Spark Talent Acquisition. They're a big company here in Michigan now. Then I went to another company. You don't see that on my LinkedIn because I don't want to give them the benefit, but non-compete sued back and forth the court. And I was like, fuck you guys. I'm not going to put this out there. And then I went with another partner of mine at Start, and then we broke off. He wanted to go this route. I wanted to go this way. Another non-compete battle. And then, you know what? I was just like, instead of going to court, here's the money. I'm out. And probably the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah. Way to go.
Yeah. So no
agreed.
litigation. Just here's your money. Leave me alone. Let me do my thing. And here we are now, almost 2 years in.
Nice. Congrats. That's exciting.
Thanks. Yeah. It's been great.
So then 13 years experience, when did you become $1 million biller?
Year one.
No way.
Year one, right off the bat. I got one of those honey hole clients my first month, right? It was a guy, I coached his son in hockey, 25 roles in the logistics space that we specialize in. And we were just, you guys know, this is the best kind of customer ever. One phone call, interview, offer letter right then and there. So my first month, $250K plus, and I was just like, all right, well, we're going from here. So then we started bringing on a couple more people, brought on 2 more recruiters, and then it just grew from there. And now I think we're at 10 total, plus a couple of VAs that do some sourcing, but we ramped up quick, right? And I think the biggest thing is always doing business development, always. No matter where you're at, it's just, I've listened to a lot of your podcasts, and Taylor, you said it's like, sometimes you got to fire clients, right? If they're not responding, like when I get on my intake calls with a client, 24 to 48 hours, if I don't have feedback, obviously that role's not that important to you. So now we're moving on to the next role because we're getting paid based off commission. So my guys are going to go wherever that money is, and that's not important to you. So we're going on too. So that's I think our model. We stuck with it. Sometimes you do got to fire clients or just deny them, right? Like, hey, we're not going to work with you. Sounds like you don't have your things in order. Or your process sucks. Sorry, find somebody else.
So did it take you some time to build up that confidence to where you said no to business, or is this kind of like who you are, where you're like, fuck that shit, year one, I'm not doing it?
No, yeah, it did. I think it was like 4 or 5 months till I started saying, you know what, this is just going to be a waste of our time, because I started to find out, okay, these type of clients are an absolute waste of time. And you actually had a podcast about the 6 flags, the red flags.
Okay.
It's spot on. It literally is spot on. Because if you're going to go out there, let's say you spend 2-3 weeks working on a search for them, right? Next thing you know, they're changing up job orders, or they're not responding, or the hiring manager is now on vacation that didn't tell you they were going on vacation, right? You just wasted all that time. It's just you gotta know who your good clients are and focus on them and get rid of the bad ones. And I get it in the beginning when you're a new recruiter, you want to take on everything and hope that it works out. But I can show you so many examples of people that call me and ask for help, and I'm like, listen, you just got to get rid of it. This is a terrible client. Move on to the next one. Keep doing business development. Once you get those, you're going to get like I got 4 or 5 honey hole clients where I know I'm going to make 200 to 400,000 a year from, right? It's just constant big companies, big corporations. And guess what? They listen to my, process. They respond right away. I'm involved in the meetings. The best part is we have a weekly call. Like every week, whether it's 10, 15 minutes, if there's new candidates or not, 10, 15-minute call just to touch base, see where we're at, what's the biggest need, and then we go from there. Like that is a good client, right? You know that, I know that. It's just like, but those are hard to find, right? So especially if you're newer getting into the game, what do you do, right? I think you always have to be doing business development no matter what.
What kind of biz dev do you do?
A lot. So I'll tell you one of my biggest clients. So this is for newer recruiters. 7 messages on LinkedIn, they didn't respond. My 8th message, I said, listen, I'm young, hungry, ex-athlete. I'm already recruiting for your competitor. Either you're going to hire me or I'm going to steal all your employees. But you know what I said? I said, fuck it. Yeah, I said, fuck it. He's either gonna bring me on, or he's gonna see that I'm gonna steal all his fucking employees. Here you go. And guess what? He sends me a message back. He goes, Domenic, I'm going to set you up with my head of customer success. And now one of my biggest clients. But most people won't make it 7, 8 messages because they're like, oh, this guy's not responding. This girl's not responding, whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we say. Like I try to be like, you guys, if you're not at least sending 4, like it's not happening. So the thing is that people treat it as like, oh, I'm going to find like 1,000 companies to reach out to, which by the way is really fucking easy. And then I'm just going to send them one message and then just hope like some little spaghetti sticks on the wall. It's like, that doesn't work.
No chance. No, but now what I have now is I have a BD company that does a lot of my cold email, like different domains.
You actually have a company.
So they're shooting off on different domains. Like I don't even know what they're doing exactly, but leads come in, I forward over to my new business development rep. She screens them, make sure it's a good, it's worth my time to jump on the call. Then she'll book it on my calendar, and then we'll go from there. But I still do it the old school way, like personally myself. I'll go on LinkedIn and I'll look at, my space, and I'll reach right out to the C-suites. I don't target HR, talent acquisition, I go right to the top. It's always better because if a CEO or COO sends a message to the head of talent and says, hey, I want to introduce you to Domenic and Laszlo Search Group, you think they're going to respond? Yeah. If you reach out to HR, most likely you're probably not going to get a response right away. Or they don't even want you there in the first place, right? So I still look the old school way. I believe in picking up the phone, calling. Sometimes, a lot of it's just messaging first, and then I'll get on a call with them, right? But nowadays with all the tech out there, I try whatever. Just anything that works. I just don't give up. You tell me no, okay, who's the next person I'm going to at that company?
Okay, but how did you build that confidence? Because that's not an easy thing. Not everybody has those balls.
I feel like I've always had it. I mean, I played college hockey, right? Pro hockey, and I've always had confidence, and I've always been in sales, so for me, no means okay, next person. Like there is no. Like you obviously have a lot of roles, you need help. I'm gonna find a way to get in and fill those so I can make money.
Yeah.
But I get it, like, because a lot of people reach out to me like, Dom, I'm not like that. I'm scared to listen. You're the wrong business. That you can't be scared. You got to be able to take no's and fucking move on. Like keep going until you drill it down into them. Because obviously they have a pain point, right? You got to find out the right messaging, whatever you have to say that will get into, because one message for this person might not work for this, right? So you got to beta test your messaging. You got to figure out what works. Because I have people Dottie Upton, right? I bought his course for one of my new business development reps. And she's like, oh, what's the messaging should I use? I go, listen, you don't know. You have to try different things and see what works. And what one thing that might work for Taylor is not going to work for Brianna. So it's all about timing too, right? And catching them at the right time. And maybe they just were with another recruiting firm and they sucked and you just caught them on a good day. So there's some luck involved too, but I think it's following up and not giving up. And then they're like, okay, let me just take a call on this guy because he's so annoying. Then I get him on the call and then they show your value, right?
Yeah.
So
So what would you say? I know that you're okay, well, maybe this isn't the right job for you, but I'm sure you've had people that have come to you and said, hey, that's not really my thing. I'm not really how I want to be as confident as you. What advice do you give them to boost their confidence? Are there any tips or tricks or videos you tell them, anything you tell them to go do to help boost their confidence? Or you're just like, sorry, it's not for you?
no, there's like videos I'll tell them to watch, and especially your guys' Millionaire recruiter videos, but not even that. It's just getting repetitions in, right? Like practice, whether it's a crappy client or not, just get on the phone and practice.
Yeah.
And then build confidence. And I think once you really start making money, it just naturally comes to you, right? Like you're just confident, like, because I'm sitting over here thinking, all right, CEO, I probably make more money than you do. In my head, mentally, does that matter? No, but mentally, for my confidence, yeah. Okay, I probably make more money than you, so I'm not really worried about what you say. I'm gonna just be me.
100%. So I'm in software engineering and, they make freaking great money. And I will never
Right.
forget the first year that I made better money than them. And my confidence just fucking soared. And I would have to have these difficult conversations. And I just knew because money wise, it was like, hey, we're going to just battle right now. Like, you want me to go negotiate and you're not going to go tell me what your salary is? Fuck you, because I need to know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm negotiating for you. But there is that part of me, especially when I was younger, that I'm like, do you want me to tell you how much I make? Because fuck
Yeah.
this.
I
I know it did get into my head for sure.
You're right. I think that helps. But like, if you're struggling with confidence, I mean, because I do know a lot of great recruiters, right? They're great recruiters, but they're just terrible at business development.
I
That
would
might
say
be,
most are.
yeah, I know.
Most.
I'm in a lot of groups. I'm like, listen, you're a great recruiter, but I don't know if I'd ever put you on a sales call because you're terrible. And I'm not gonna lie to them. Like, you probably need some help there. So like, I think there's maybe a little niche in the market, or maybe starting a business development. So I'm an entrepreneur. So I got four other things going right now. I got multiple things going on at all times, right? But I'm like, hey, Grace, since you're rocking, let's maybe start a business development. For recruiting firms, if they need help here, we'll jump on your calls, and this is what we're going to charge. And because they are great recruiters. Like I've talked to so many, through whether it's through Forbes, even people on there that are struggling, right? That the last 2 years have been so easy for everyone, right? They were making $40,000, $50,000 placements like nothing, but here's your market now. Now what do you do? I think it's a good thing too, because it weeds out the weak.
True.
Those weak ones they're going to be gone, right? They're going to go back to whatever they were doing, and because it is oversaturated. You see, like one guy's like, man, I get messages from recruiting firms 35 times a day. What makes you different? I go, good. Let's jump on a 5-minute call. I'll tell you why. 5 seconds, and you'll notice the difference. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, I don't know if you can see the books behind me, but like I'm always reading books. I'm always looking at YouTube videos. Anything that helped, constantly ABAL, right? Always be learning. Have to. just like always be closing, always be selling. It's just part of the game, especially if you want to build up, 7 figures plus every year consistently, right? That's the thing. Yeah, you could have a good month, but how do you do it month after month?
Yeah.
Right?
Do you feel you can do it by yourself? Like, can you be a lone wolf and do it?
In the beginning, I did, yeah, but now with how big I'm trying to get, no, not right now. Just because we have so much going on. I mean, if I showed you my jobs list that we have open right now, we don't even. And here's the thing: we don't post the jobs. We post a few of them,
Yeah,
because they're in that area, but most of them are all targeted searches. We're going after targeted candidates that we want to reach out to, because here's the thing too is a lot of candidates reach out to me. In the beginning, I was just taking calls because I was trying to help everybody, right? So then I had to start time blocking my day and saying, hey, I'd love to help you, but I just can't. I don't have the time right now. I'm busy. But a little trick for, these people that are looking for jobs and they're struggling to find a job. It's like, hey, take your resume, put it in ChatGPT and say, hey, tailor my resume to fit this job description. Just a little trick. Because this one guy's like, I'm struggling. I've applied to 75 roles. And I was like, okay, well, here's a little trick for you. Because they're looking for key buzzwords, right? They're just skimming them because they have 75 other applicants on LinkedIn that applied that didn't even look at the role. They just hit apply, and that's why they hire us. Usually at the end of the day, they just don't have the time for it. So that's something for them to help. But yeah, I had to learn how to time block my day, like completely block it out, because I was just taking call after call to the point where I was on the phone from 8:30 to 5:30, and I wasn't even, no breaks in between.
Yeah.
And I just started doing this.
you wearing a diaper?
2 weeks ago. Well, then I would take the Google Meet on my phone, and then go to the bathroom, put it on pause for a second. Like just whatever it takes at the end of the day. But I'm always networking too, right? So it's you never know, and that's why I always tell my recruiters here, it's like you never know, even if that person does a good job, you never know if they end up going somewhere and they liked you. Now they might get you in there. I've had that happen so many times where a candidate didn't get one of my roles, went over there, it's like, hey, I'd love to have you come recruit for us over here. Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. So
Let's
what
start.
ways in which do you network? So I'm sure you do on LinkedIn. I'm sure you do on Forbes. But what are some other ways for our listeners that they should be networking?
So like there's a group local to me, and I'm sure there's networking groups. So this one's called Sunrise Networking Group. I'm going to an event next Tuesday at night. It's on a boat. Wherever I go, like even my wife, she hates me because we go on a walk with the kids, right? She's like, you're talking to every neighbor. I go, you never know. Well, guess what? My neighbor worked for Bosch, and he needed help. My other one neighbor behind me worked for a healthcare company. She was a director. She needed help. So I didn't take it on because I don't do healthcare, but I was like, hey, I'll connect you with a recruiter that I know. Well, she's like, we can't even go for a walk because a 30-minute walk turns into a 2-hour conversation if they're out, especially in the summer right now here in Michigan. But wherever I go, restaurants, you name it, I don't care. I'll talk to anyone. That's just the mindset I have.
Do you ever get tired from that? Like, I
No.
definitely know I get tired from networking.
I do, but I don't, because I think I'm addicted to the money, and I have three kids under 3. My wife doesn't work right now, right? So I'm just trying to set it up so in 5 years the company can run itself. I got multiple businesses going. I got real estate going over here, and then then I'm just relaxing and just looking at reports, making sure everything's going good, and go from there.
Okay, I'm going to predict that you're not able to relax, but I hope you will be.
I can't. You're absolutely right. I can't even sit home for 5 minutes. So no, yeah, there's always something I'll be doing, but like this one guy asked me today, he's like, do you want to get into mortgages? I go, let me know when the market turns around. I'll absolutely get in. Yeah, and just show me the ropes. But for talent acquisition, like what I want to do too is help people that are struggling financially, right? Because even if you make one placement a month, let's say $100K job,
Yeah.
20%, that's $20K. And the reason I want to start helping more people is because my wife's cousin recently lost her job, right? Just had a kid, single mom. And like, what is she going to do? You can't live off $65,000 a year now. And I'm in Michigan. I couldn't even imagine in California.
Yeah.
So how can I help people make extra money, whether it's recruiting for me on the side. Here's a 1099 contract role for you, or hey, here, start your own. I'll teach you the ropes, or go watch Breonna Taylor's videos. There's ways to make money, especially in this industry.
Yeah. I think the entrepreneurial spirit is definitely strong, and we're seeing more and more people like, hey, I want to get into agency and stuff like that. But the issue I have found so far, because, we have the Millionaire Recruiter program where we do that and we help them, but I don't think people realize how fucking hard it is to not only learn how to be a badass recruiter, learn how to be a badass salesperson, BD person, and then also run your own shit like you were talking about earlier. The accounting, the trends, the data, what tools am I using? Like, do I want to hire? Where's my contractors? It's fucking a lot, and a lot of people cannot take that on.
It is a lot. And, like now that I'm to the point where I outsource a lot of that, right? Like the accounting, a bookkeeper, CPA, all that. But yeah, people think it's so easy, right? You just get it all. I'm going to make a placement. Like, you have no idea that I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. I'm here by 6 before you guys even get in at 8:30. And then I'm still working at night because I do have California clients that are 3 hours behind me. So yeah, I'm taking calls at 7, 8, 9. Most people don't see that. They think it's just an easy, here's a perfect example for you. A guy that I'm helping on right now started, he's out of Florida. Basically what he's doing is he was trying to start a recruiting firm, but outsource everything to the Philippines. I'm like, that's not going to work. I go, you don't even have a foundation here yet. And guess what? He's failing miserably. Now he's like, all right, well, what do I need to do? I'm like, first off, it's not a part-time thing. You need to be full in or you're out just like any other business.
Yeah.
It's not going to work just part-time, then, outsource everything to somebody in the Philippines. Maybe they can help you source, yeah, but, are they going to do your intake calls? Are they going to manage the account? Are they going to talk to the hiring managers, follow up, feedback, you name it? No. I think that's where a lot of people struggle and think it's so easy because they're sold by these YouTube videos that they see one person that made they're selling the pipe dream of, hey, you made maybe $1 million. Okay, let me see how you did that, right? Because I'll show you how many hours I put in. It's a lot. It's not as easy as they're making it sound, especially with bad clients.
Yes. So for our listeners, like you talked about how you're doing all these things, real estate, you're in all of these things, right? But for our listeners or recruiters that are just starting out that want to make millions their first few years, do you recommend that they just focus on one thing and just focus on recruiting and like getting really good at that?
Oh, 100%. I still put all my time, most of my time and effort into this all day, every day. That stuff that I'm talking about, I'll do at 7, 8, 9 at night while I'm taking a call, right? You need to be 100% in and need to be kind of, like I said, doing business development, constantly learning, watching YouTube videos, being in Facebook groups, just seeing trends, watching what these people are doing, what's working. Especially a lot of people now, I'm seeing them getting caught up in different software. What software do I use? Or how is this AI going to help me? It's like, just stick to the basics and then you can start to build off of that. People are like, I need to use this. I'm like, listen, you don't need to use anything. You can just use LinkedIn, LinkedIn Sales Nav, start from there. And then once you start to get bigger, then you can start adding in some automation stuff and this and that. But
I am so glad you said this because like I'm actually getting a little money chills over here because we constantly have people go, how can you automate this for me? How can you automate this for me? I'm like, you need to learn how to do it first and then automate yourself. Like all this ChatGPT shit. Yeah, it's fucking cool and I use it a lot. But guess what? I learned how to do it first. Now I know how to tweak it. Now I know how to, it's like, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I learned how to use it by playing with it nonstop, tweaking it, learning the prompts, right? What works, what doesn't work. And that's where I learned about the, like, hey, put this job description in with the resume, match it up, get the key buzzwords. But yeah, I'm still learning every day, right? Like I'm learning how to use it. Like Donnie has videos. There's a lot of people that have videos out there. So I'll take a little piece from there, a little piece from here, and figure out what works best for me. Because whatever works best for me might not work best for you, You just got to figure out what works best for you, what's your model. But I would say in the beginning, especially for new recruiters, just constantly start networking, messaging on LinkedIn nonstop, having a presence on LinkedIn, creating your profile. And a lot of people are putting out crazy content. I think LinkedIn's getting a little oversaturated.
Yeah, it's
But
easy.
yeah, it's very noisy. But you got to still find a way to get in front of your target market, right? And how do you do that? There's do your research. Go find out, who's the top recruiter in that space. Okay, find out what they're doing. Watch what they're doing. Get multiple insights from different people, in different industries, especially if you're going to go for one niche. Find the best recruiters in that niche. Like for me, it's like my website was so bare and basic, and it still is now. I got to update it. But, when I was telling my marketing, I was like, look, go to these top supply chain logistics recruiting firms that are popping up in Google, find out what SEO words they're using, and then just blast it in my website.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an adjustment to that, but it's stuff like that I didn't know in the beginning that now I've learned, and I've seen okay, why are they always popping up first?
Mhm.
You just kind of constantly be learning.
I love the scrappiness behind it. I feel like you need to be, I'm going to invite you to one of our, again, with the Millionaire Recruiter program, because they're always asking, I'm like, it's exactly what you need to do. Just take it down. Here's another millionaire recruiter. Listen to what they're telling you. It's not fucking easy. You have to learn the fundamentals and the basics first. So I love that point of view, because you're right. I probably know what ads you're talking about on these ones. It's so easy. You just have to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, because they're on my advertised on my channel. But it drives me bonkers because it's not easy. And so I hate. And that's exactly. So when people come to us, and I know Taylor takes a lot of these calls, they come to us, we make damn sure they know it's not fucking easy. I have had grown-ass men and women cry through the program because it's fucking hard. And I get it. I've had those moments where it's like, God, this sucks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I've also celebrated my ass off too, because it's like, wow, that was really easy. Like you said, you could make in 1 month what more than people's salaries for a whole year. That's the real. It's just you have to work for it.
You're absolutely right. For example, what I have coming in next month already is more than most people probably make in a household combined, right? But it's the work behind it that it is not easy, right? But are there times where it's one candidate I sent over and they hire him? Yeah. Are there times where it's like 3, 4, and then we're battling on their offer letter, equity, whatever it may be, or get all the way to the finish line, and then they're committed to taking an offer, and then guess what? They retract the offer.
Yep.
Or they're saying, "Oh no, I'm going to take this other role."
They don't show up.
When I first started, I used to get so pissed, just furious, had to walk out of the building. But now I just know, hey, it's just part of the game. Stay even keel, and just keep going. If you get down like that, you're gonna mentally fuck yourself big time. And I see a lot of recruiters doing it. And some out here too. I'm like, listen, just part of the game. You just you gotta know it's a competitive market, and everybody's looking for top talent. It's just what it is.
Oh man, guys. Okay, so unfortunately we're at time. So go ahead, Domenic, and hit him with your broke to boss tip.
I have many, but I let's say the early bird gets the worm. I think you have to get up early, work out, whatever, get mentally focused, meditate, whatever it is that gets you going in the morning, and then be prepared to start your day and just hit it hard. I wake up every day. I played sports every day. I have a chip on my shoulder. Somebody's trying to beat me, and I am not going to let them beat me, period. As an athlete, there's no way you're going to beat me. I would love to compete against anyone. I'm very competitive, but that's how I wake up. I wake up every day like that. Somebody is trying to eat my lunch, and I am not going to let them take it.
Hardcore sales. So here you guys want to make millions in recruiting. Get your ass up.
You have to, and just be ahead of everyone. And even to staying up late at night and doing whatever it takes. That's what you have to do if you want to be successful in this game. It's whatever it takes. And it's not easy. Don't listen to these YouTube people that are telling you that it's so easy that you can do this and that and make millions. And no, it's not easy. And then you're going to see a lot of them that weed out, or they spend $15,000 on this program. Now they're coming to Taylor and Brianna saying, "Hey,
I've had that.
I just spent $15,000 on this person. I thought I was gonna be a millionaire in a month. What happened?"
Oh, it drives me crazy. I love that.
Me too. I'm sure you do. I see these Facebook groups, and I'm just like, oh my God. I just want to pop in there and say something, but I'm like, I better not even get involved.
I know that's what happens with all the noisy stuff on LinkedIn when I see it. I'm like, I'm gonna say something. I am not gonna say something. Hold that shit in. All right, Domenic, thank you so much. We could probably go a lot longer. I know that the listeners, this is really going to help and hopefully put a fire under their ass because it's an amazing industry, but it's not an easy one. So awesome. Thank you guys. See you next Tuesday.
Thanks for having me.